start the fight, breaking down the walls in the dead of night. I don't come for peace, I come for the storm. Fanboys melt quick when the truth gets warm. Saw content's high, I'm collecting those tears. Just got started, but I'm cutting through fears. I'm not here for brand deals, I'm not for sale. I expose your lies, rip off the veil.
Harmon, can you go at least one day without sitting here saying something outlandish? You are literally saying that Donkey Kong Bonanza is supposed to be game of the decade. Do you understand that that is almost an impossible thing to do? Do you realize it will have to outsell Minecraft, GTA 5? Do you understand how impossible of a feat that is going to be to accomplish? Well, let's get into this reaction.
Nintendo won. Like, absolutely. I didn't get to react to the Nintendo Direct.
Trust me, Harmon, nobody missed you not reacting to the Direct. That is not one thing that we really ever have to see you watching. And also, what did they win? Please explain, Harmon. How did they win based upon a Direct?
Because, I was doing things. But I saw, like, some of the images on X. I saw some of the images on 4chan. Like, I saw like the reaction to this thing, and it's like what I've been saying for the longest time.
Harmon, you say so much stuff. The more you repeat yourself and the more nonsense you spew out, eventually you will get something right. Always remember this, Harmon. You should live by this motto. A broken clock is right twice a day, after all.
Since they first unveiled this thing, this is going to be a huge release. Like, not like...
Well, of course it would, Harmon. It could have looked not that great to begin with. They could have not even done the Direct, because there were a lot of people that weren't overly excited for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I promise you, Harmon, there is no single player first party title on the Switch 2. No new release for that matter. So of course they would have bought it. Everybody is starving for that first party, first player experience. They haven't gotten that yet. All we got is a multiplayer, which is Mario Kart World.
Some minor little like thing, this game is gonna stop Expedition 33. It's gonna stop like every other Game of the Year contender.
That remains to be seen. Trust me, I want Donkey Kong Bonanza to be a huge success. I want it to be an amazing game. Because unlike you, I love competition. When there are many great games throughout the year, we all win, Harmon. Maybe you don't realize that.
This game is going to be played and remembered for decades because of what they're doing with the character, what they're doing with the world, and what they're doing with the gameplay. This is absolutely going to go down, I think, as...
That's what you get for thinking, Harmon. I don't recall anybody asking you or paying you for what you think.
One of the best Nintendo games of the past decade, if not ever. This is the glorious return of Donkey Kong we've been awaiting since Donkey Kong 64,
Actually, I'm going to have to disagree with that because I don't think Donkey Kong 64 was really that memorable to begin with. I have never heard from a single person outside of you that actually says that Donkey Kong 64 was a phenomenal game. Every time I hear about that game, whenever people are like, oh, I haven't played, and they're like, oh, trust me, you don't need to. You can skip it. I have never heard someone saying, oh, you need to play this game.
I love Returns, but it never did feel like those games were the big next-gen evolution of Donkey Kong. This feels like it, Nintendo is finally treating Donkey Kong like their A-list guy again. And,
To be honest, Harmon, I don't think that Nintendo has ever treated Donkey Kong like an A-list guy. Maybe back in 1981 when they made the Donkey Kong arcade game, but after that, I don't really think so, because it wasn't like they sold a lot of units to begin with. When people think of those games, they didn't sit there and sell the games that Mario did. There's a reason why Mario became their flagship person.
Rareware is just seething. Oh man, why don't people come out for our mascot platformers? Well, maybe because you don't try to make them.
What are you talking about? Sony has many mascot characters. You got Kratos from God of War. You got Master Chief, the guy from Gears of War for Microsoft. And you got Davy Jones for PC. What are you talking about, Harmy?
Okay, enough about Banjo 3E. You should have been like making like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. Like you should have been growing and evolving your brand alongside Nintendo's. This is why.
Wait, you know what? He really easily confuses me. Is he talking about Rare Games or is he talking about Microsoft and Sony? Because if he's talking about Rare Games with the whole Banjo thing, you do realize that Donkey Kong wouldn't be where it's at without Rare, right?
Nintendo has long surpassed Rareware as a video game developer. In the 90s, they were about on the.
Well, of course. Look at how many development teams that they have had. I don't remember the last game Rareware has made to begin with.
About on the same level, but Nintendo has demonstrated that they are able to grow and evolve in ways that Rareware and like every other Microsoft or PlayStation developer.
Yeah, how about no, Harmon? I haven't really seen Nintendo evolve by very much. They keep sitting here making the same stuff over and over and over again. To be honest, it works for them. There's nothing wrong with what they make, but let's not pretend like they keep evolving the formula here.
Can never even hope to accomplish. The fact of the matter is, Donkey Kong Bonanza surpasses The Last of Us.
Harmon, you yourself said in another video that you think that this game is going to sell about 20 million. You do realize Last of Us Part 1 alone has sold 28 million. So that's more than what you projected for Donkey Kong Bonanza to begin with. Stop flip-flopping.
Without even really trying. And that's like my big takeaway with this, because when you really ask people like why they like The Last of Us, it always boils down to this like, well, I want to protect the little girl. I want to be a.
Harmy, I have never heard a single person ever say that. Whenever people say that they love The Last of Us, it's because of the story. That story is still one of the best stories in video game history.
Big, strong father figure to this child. And then like you have like, Bonanza coming out, which does that, but like better, makes it more interesting. The characters are more fun. There's
Harmon, the game isn't even out yet. How the hell do you even know this? Oh, are you going off of that demo you got to play for like 5 seconds?
There's more gameplay aspects to it. Like, again, looking at this game, you can tell like it's just oozing soul.
Harmon, Donkey Kong doesn't even have a voice. How much soul can that thing have?
Like, this is something fresh, new, and exciting. You can't simply brush this under the rug like they tried to do with like The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or.
Harmon, Breath of the Wild was fresh, new, and exciting. Let's not pretend like Donkey Kong Bonanza is this brand new masterpiece that revolutionized the 3D platformers. This has been done before.
Fire Emblem Engage or like New Horizons. Like this is, I think, like the glorious return of Donkey Kong to like the AAA scene. Like this is.
I hope so, but only time's gonna tell, Harmy.
I think like the natural result of downplaying the brand for so long. Like, because Donkey Kong's technically been back since like the returns games came out, which essentially amounts to him not really going anywhere. But like.
Well, yes, when those return games came out for the Switch, they were overpriced. There was no reason to put it at $60, Harmon.
At the time, people really downplayed and ignored those games, that and Tropical Freeze, and like tried to say like the games were stale and derivative and outdated, which wasn't true.
Yes, it was, Harmy. Many people found them stale and boring. I unfortunately did not. Or not even really unfortunately. I actually like Tropical Freeze, so I don't understand all the hate for it.
But with like Bonanza, like we are reaching the point where it is becoming impossible to downplay Nintendo games, the games like this, the way that they.
Harmon, I have no idea what is with you and Switch Force, but he likes to sit there and say, oh, it's hate proof. You're sitting there saying, oh, it's impossible to downplay. You do realize when you guys make these claims, it is going to cause people to come out with the hate. You do realize that, right?
That they have been traditionally, because people used to complain about the visuals, the animations, the stories, the lack of voice acting, and that's not something that Bonanza.
Yes, it's still going to get ridiculed for the lack of voice acting. There's only really one person, and then you have another person speaking another language. Donkey Kong doesn't even speak, for crying out loud, Harmon.
Is really doing. If anything, it's people are kind of amazed by the fact that it does seem to have like some form of voice acting, and that it does have
some form of voice acting. You just sat there and said it. Now, I may give it a pass because they do have some form of voice acting. If the story is amazing, the game is polished to perfection, and the gameplay is phenomenal, I could maybe overlook that when it comes to my review of the game. But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't even know if I'm ever going to play this game. Only time's going to tell.
Of story and like some of the changes to the characters, like this is a real evolution of the character and the brand, and you can tell that they put a lot of thought into how it works, because it is absolutely something that.
And hopefully, I really hope it does, Harmon, because I truly do love Donkey Kong. He is one of my favorite Nintendo characters, but only time's going to tell. I'm not going to put this much faith into a company that does not deserve it. Nintendo does not deserve our goodwill, Harmon, so you should know better than this.
You can cry in the comments, but you won't survive. Like and subscribe if you feel that vibe. We're hot and salty.